Hello everyone, I am back with another Wi-Fi battle, and my opponent in this battle is going to be minemaster05x again. Uh, Funny story about how I got this battle with this guy once again. He's actually the guy that won Tesla Mouse's tournament a while ago, back in September of last year. It was that OU tournament where I faced all those other people like Mr. Flubbadub, Dogs Right, Purple Panda Post, and all of them. And he was the one that ended up being the winner of the tournament and whatnot. But since then, he's actually been very active with battling, and he's actually been trying to battle a lot of people that he had added on his friends list and whatnot. And among them was myself. And every time I always see him sending me challenges all the time, and I'm like, nah, I don't really want to battle right now. I'm too lazy. But at one point I got kind of like, I think this battle happened right after I lost to Tesla Mouse, and I was actually kind of salty because I lost to Tesla Mouse once again. And so he asked me once again, like, you want to battle? And I'm like, okay, I'll just battle just so this guy can like quit pestering me, because I was like, come on, I'm tired of you bothering me. And we decided to do an OU battle as usual. And yeah, I think he's gonna lead off with Keldeo here. My team is actually interesting because I'm gonna actually use a team that revolves around Mega Gardevoir. I was gonna say Meta Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir. Anyways, but I lead with Swampert as he leads off with Keldeo. And I'm gonna set up rocks. He's gonna go straight for the Skull. I was confident I could take at least a Hydro Pump from this thing, although I wasn't sure if I could, honestly. I was just hoping this wouldn't be Specs, but it thankfully wasn't. So here I switch out immediately because he locked himself into Hydro Pump. By the way, it was Hydro Pump, not Scald. And then here he switches out because I switched into Volcanion, and I was confident this thing was gonna be Choice somehow. I just didn't know which one, but it was Choice. And because I knew it was going to switch out because, I mean, Volcanion's ability just negates the water move, I decided to switch into Weavile right here, like in a double switch form basically. And here, because I double switched on him, he probably thought I was going to try to predict him again and double switch again, but I didn't. I just stayed in and actually went for the Icicle Crash, knock out this Latios. And now here I think he's going to go into Scizor, which he does, which is Spring Blade for some reason. And here I'm definitely gonna switch out, and I think I go back into Volcanion so I can scare it away with a Flamethrower. And then here I was expecting either a Bug Bite or a Bullet Punch from this thing, honestly, or even Knockoff, just because, I mean, that's kind of the moves that Scizors or Mega Scizors carry. But this Mega Scizor actually ends up going for Swords Dance. I was like, holy shit. I better outspeed this thing, or otherwise I'm gonna freaking have problems if this thing has some kind of move. And he actually does carry Super Power, and I was like, oh shit. And then how do you say, it just takes out my Volcanion, and I was like, oh my god. That did so much damage. So immediately here I just send out Zygarde, and the first thing I do is glare this thing so it doesn't get so much so it just loses flexibility basically. And here I'm just gonna Dragon Tail it afterwards, because holy shit, this thing was, I did not expect it to knock out my Volcanion. I know Volcanion is not well, it actually is bulky, but it wasn't invested in any defense or even HP for that matter, so it's kind of natural that it knocked it out. But yeah, this thing tried to go for another Bullet Punch, I think, and he just got paralyzed. I just Dragon Tailed it so I can get rid of that +1 that it still has. And I switched it into this thing. Now, I've seen Tyrannitars with Hidden Power Ice. So I think here's where I decide to switch out, because I didn't want to risk this thing having like Ice Beam. I've seen Tyrannitars running Ice Beam for some reason. I don't know why. Well, it's obvious why. It's for those Dragon types. And I do have a Dragon right here that's X4 weak to an Ice move. So I was just afraid of that. So here I think I just I think I switched out. Yeah, I switched out. I switched into Weavile, predicting that freaking possible Ice Beam that he might try to go for. I don't know if he actually had it, but I was predicting that. And I switched into Weavile. And this was actually a favorable matchup because I actually got to send this thing out against the Landers team. Now here I made a risky play and actually went for the Icicle Crush rather than the Ice Shard, just because I wasn't sure if Ice Shard would KO, and I didn't want this thing to end up surviving and then just hitting me with an Earthquake. But there was also a part of me that wanted to believe that it was also that same Landers Tea that he used in the tournament, where I thought with Mega Diancie that it was going to be locked into U-turn, because I thought it would be Choice Scarf, but it was actually something else, and I didn't know what it was. But yeah, it was kind of... But seeing how he switched out the Landorus kind of tells me that maybe it wasn't even Choice Scarf. I switched out Swampert here to take a Bullet Punch, gets a crit with the Bullet Punch, and I think that helped proc my Custap Berry here, and I just go for a Scald. So, yeah. I take out the Spring Blade, thankfully. I don't think he even expected the Custap, honestly. But I actually went for that, and yeah, that was the end of that. He goes into Keldeo now, and I'm fine with losing Swampert here, because this thing got the rocks up, and he doesn't seem to have any sort of defogger. I think his only defogger was Latios, and I just Icicle crushed that with Weavile. Now here I go into Gardevoir, and just go for a I think Hyper Voice here? No, not Hyper Voice. Psyshock, because I definitely was predicting him to switch out, because I don't think he would want to stay in with this thing. And looking at the rest of his team, I felt like his Volcanion was the obvious switch in. So it takes rocks damage because my rocks are up. And then here I Mega Evolve with Mega Gardevoir. And here I just go for the Psyshock. And thankfully I got the rocks up, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to two-shot this thing with Psyshock. Psyshock, not Psyshock. What the hell? Psyshock? It's not even a word. But Psyshock is what I meant to go for on this Volcanion. And as a result I was able to two-shot it thanks to the rocks, I believe. And here he sends out this thing, and now seeing how he sends this thing in makes me wonder if this thing is actually Choice Scarf, because why else would he send this thing in? So I definitely switch out, and I think I go into Zygarde, risking the possible Ice Beam. And I actually predicted correctly, because he actually ends up going for Stone Edge here. So here, I believe I go for the Glare, just to see if I can get this thing paralyzed. Because if it's Scarfed, it would be nice to actually paralyze this thing. And seeing how he goes for Stone Edge again clearly means that he's Choice Scarf, because he didn't switch it up to Ice Beam or something. I got to Glare this thing now. And if this thing is Scarfed, it makes me kind of more convinced that the Landorus T is not Scarfed also. Because usually when people battle competitively, they don't usually like to run dual Scarfs or anything like that. They think that's pretty tacky. But yeah. He goes into Landorus T now, and here, like I said, I wasn't so sure if this thing was gonna be what's it called? Scarf. So I tried to go for Earthquake because I thought he might try to stay in. And then here he switches out and into Landorus T. Takes no damage because of Earthquake. And here I glare this thing as well, because I was like, you know what? If this thing is Scarfed, then my Mega Gardevoir can simply just outspeed it now because it's glared. This is why I actually like the combination of Zygarde with Mega Gardevoir, because this particular Zygarde set can actually paralyze things, and then it can let Mega Gardevoir, who's not the relatively fastest of mons, outspeed a bunch of the stuff that's on this team. And it can just proceed to just KO things with impunity. So here he switches out into this thing, and I think he's just gonna go for a Scald because he sees that my Zygarde is weakened, and he's just gonna finish this thing off with a Scald, which is perfectly fine with me, honestly. So yeah, I lose Zygarde, and here I think I just send in Gardevoir again. Like I said, and I think these are his last three mons: Keldeo, Tyranitar, and Landorus T. And he's gonna switch out because he doesn't want to lock himself into Scald. And here he's just gonna sack Catherine, which is the Tyranitar. And like I said, because of that glare with Zygarde on both the Tyranitar and the Landorus T, my Gardevoir is able to outspeed all of his mons with impunity. Well, with the exception of Keldeo, but I'm confident that with the HP that Gardevoir is at right now, I can definitely live even a Hydro Pump from this thing. So I just go for a Hyper Voice on the T-Tar, get rid of that shit, because that thing is actually really annoying. And then I go for a Hyper Voice on this Landorus T, which is also a very contemptible mon in my opinion, and take this thing out as well. And then he's gonna send out his last Pokemon, which is the Keldeo, and I'm just gonna Hyper Voice that shit too. And that's gonna be the whole game. I got a nice little Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir sweep right here, which was actually pretty cool. This is why I like this battle myself personally. Because not only am I beating the champion of the OU tournament that Tesla Mouse hosted a while ago, but I'm also getting to beat him with my Mega Gardevoir, which is actually pretty cool. I actually, because Mega Gardevoir was actually a Pokemon I liked when I was playing Pokemon X and Y. Like before I was playing Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire completely, I played through X and Y and I actually loved using Mega Gardevoir. So the fact that I was able to make it put some work in this battle was actually pretty cool. But yeah, that's gonna be the whole game, and good game to my master as usual. And thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys leave your thoughts in the comments if you want. And yeah, just stay tuned for more battles, because we're getting closer. I tell you, we're getting really close to finishing these battles, and I can't wait to actually start recording battles from Sun and Moon, because it's been a while. I was actually hoping to get these done by the end of September, but you know, there's a lot of stuff going on and I can't always do it. So yeah, but anyways, have a good one for today.